Okay, Gino, thank you. And to the rebound now. And for months, public health experts and educators have been warning people of the long-term impacts of remote learning. Now, new data shows the impact it's having on student performance. And as Asha Qureshi found, there is both good and bad news.
In May, researchers estimated that by the beginning of this academic year, the average student would lose a third of their reading progress and half of their math progress from the previous year.
That was kind of assuming worst case scenario.
This week, NWEA, a not-for-profit standardized testing company, released its findings from this fall's assessment.
Kids remarkably have weathered pretty well in reading, and those patterns, both in the cross-sectional as well as the longitudinal studies, really kind of highlight some good news.
But their analysis of data from nearly 4.4 million U.S. students in grades 3 to 8 found average scores for math were lower, between 5 and 10 percentile points for students this year as compared to the same grade students last year. The findings represent some of the first empirical measures of how the pandemic has affected student performance.
We're moving slower, which means that we're covering less material over a certain period of time.
For many teachers like Kara Cohen, who has been teaching fifth grade reading and math for more than 2 decades, remote learning has forced her to slow her pace, especially with math.
And there may be difficulties with Wi-Fi, different things from day to day. You have to slow down in order to reach all learners.
Dr. Kimberly Behrens is a child development expert, educator, and the author of Blind Spots: Why Students Fail and the Science That Can Save Them.
Spending more time on repeated, reinforced practice of skills to mastery so that when kids have gaps in instruction that are inevitably going to happen from school closures, kids getting sick, or pandemics, then kids will be more resilient.
Still, NWEA's data set is incomplete. 1 in 4 students who they tested in 2019 were missing from this year's assessment.
They were much more likely to be African American or Latinx or Hispanic. They were more likely to be from high poverty schools, and they were more likely to be lower achieving in the first place.
That means that while the new data suggests some promising outcomes, we still don't know just how severely the pandemic is impacting minority and socioeconomically disadvantaged students. I'm Asha Qureshi reporting.
Experts say some signs a child might be falling behind in math include counting on fingers beyond early years, or trying to find alternatives to problems, or increased anxiety or not paying attention during math lessons.